this is where we get to bring in our guest. He is Solomon Emiola. He is a social justice advocate. So glad to have you this morning on the Newspaper Review.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be live with you.
All right, thank you very much for joining us. Now, let's get right into the papers this morning. Let's start off with the tax reform. There's so much that has been talked about. I mean, this tax reform, whether or not it will scale through. Now we have the Senate saying, the Senate President himself saying, come rain, come sunshine, this bill will be passed. And he has also made a statement that the bill, in actual fact, has not been suspended. It's still there. They're just deliberating on it. But what are your thoughts about this particular bill? And now we have the Northern youths supporting this bill, but the Northern elders, the Northern governors are not in support of this. Do you see this bill scaling through easily, or this bill will be backtracked?
Yeah, thank you. Actually, the bill itself is not for the people. And it is just for the few elements in power. And what do I mean by this? If you look at some of the sections of the bill, part of it, there is a place where he talks about the property tax.
Okay.
Where 4% of it, which means that if my father now has a property that worth 100 million naira, and then, so it means I, as a person, I am to remit the sum of 24 million naira to the federal government account. This alone speaks volumes that from their own their own no alternatives that they keep bringing to us. It shows that they are not after the welfare of we, the citizens, but after how they continue to use our money to recoup themselves, to recycle themselves in terms of, take for instance, as the economy is now, you see a lot of properties being owned by an individual, a government official. And at the end of the day, they tell us that they are afraid to mention the name, the identity of such person. And this is done because the money they collected, the taxes, we have some complaints in Nigeria that they are not paying tax. And their net worth for tax is over 3 trillion naira. So why can't they look into this instead of still extorting us, the masses? Because the tax that they are talking about now is not for our own benefit. Take, for instance, they've just implement electronic charge of 50 naira on 10,000 naira. Okay. Is it the politicians that will run the transaction of 10,000 naira daily? Is it not us? And this affects the poor people more than them. Because instead of them using electronic transfer, they can work with cash. Left and right. At the various ATMs now, there are limits to which you can, to the amount of money you can get from the bank. So the tax is not for we, the masses. It is for the few ruling elites. And that is actually that the Northern elders, we kick against it because there are some part of the tax reforms that are against the people. The youth that keep clamoring, they can only come. Don't forget the fact that we also have government institutions. So this is where we cannot even say these people who said they are Northern youth emanated from the real youth, from the North. Because I, as a person now, I might decide to say, okay, I want to represent the Southwest youth and come with a lot of people, organize a press conference. But that does not mean that I am representing the interest of the large population.
Yeah.
All right, Solomon.
So this also needs to be looked into when they said the youth, because as at yesterday, I met with some of the youth, the Northern youth, and some of them were of the opinion that this bill does not speak to their own interest.
Solomon, if I may ask, a lot of people do not even know what's on this bill. I mean, we had a guest, an analyst, who we even asked, and he said he has not seen this bill. So my question is, why is it that most of the time it is when this bill is about to be passed, we hear of it? When this bill is being sorted, we don't really hear, and people are not even aware what is inside that bill. We only know that northern governors are protesting this and that, but the content of that bill has not been really made public. Why is this so? Why does this keep reoccurring or repeating itself?
You know, it is what we are used to. It is a planned stuff. Anything, take for instance, when they introduced social media bills, then, you know, it did not come to the limelight until when some people look into it. Even it's not when we look into it, it was after it has scaled through the second reading.
Yes.
That's when we got to know about it. That's to tell you that anything evil, that they know that it will protect the interest.
Evil is rather strong. That's a rather strong word.
Well, actually,
but go ahead.
Strong word, I understand.
Yes.
So anything that is against the people, that will serve the interest of the few, the people will not be carried along. And okay, take for instance, we are engaging a government representative yesterday, and it was speaking about how they do organize a stakeholders forum, and he said all his constituents are being carried along. And someone rise up and said, sorry, I'm a member of your constituency, but what you are saying is new to me here. So where do you derive that sort of data analysis that tells you that you reach out to all? And if they are, take for instance, at the National Assembly, how many of the bills being passed are also sent forward to civil society organizations? I mean the genuine civil society organizations who are critics to look into. Immediately when we finished hashtag End Bad Governance protest, there was a bill being sponsored before it was quashed down that before you go and protest, this and this must happen. The police have the right to tell you what to do. Then you need to go and meet them, this and this. In which all these things are anti-people. So none of these bills, even at the preliminary stage, you will not get to hear about it. It is when they go to second reading that someone just feel, oh, this thing is not right, or it does not serve my own interest. That is when it gets to rot.
All right, let me come in here. Solomon, you know, we need to move on. Let's talk about the activist now, human rights activist, Dele Farotimi. You know, he's been in the news for days now since his arrest. You are a social justice advocate, so this is right in your lane. Now, activists and groups plan nationwide protest on the 10th of December. I don't know if you're part of this group who's going to be protesting and asking for the... Oh, you are. Tell me a little bit about it. What are your thoughts regarding Dele's arrest?
Dele's arrest is abuse of power. Defamation is a civil matter. It is not what the police needs to intervene in. And as you rightly said, yesterday, this conversation came up between I and a lawyer and even a journalist. So when we were having the conversation, the lawyer were like, oh, this thing, how sure is it that the SAN can escape through this? And I was being referenced to some incident that has happened in the judiciary itself. What Dele Farotimi is saying is the right thing, is genuine. He has a proof. And the moment you see that this, okay, I defend you, and you allege that I defend you, it is not the police that will enforce such, or that will tell you, okay, this thing is, what you have done is this. It is the court of law. And Baba is a legal luminary in which these things is not new to him. He needs to understand the process, the procedures. Why can't Baba approach court of law? take the.
I'm sorry. Let me come in. Solomon, who is the Baba you are referring to?
I'm talking about Afe Babalola SAN.
That's the person that Dele talked about that, is causing him this problem. Yes.
And even a lawyer who is even practicing is telling us that this, what Dele said, is the fact. That he's not telling lie. And he's not able to go far. This same thing, I as a person, I have witnessed it. It is not from his own side, but from another person, a legal luminary also. They brought the case before you as a justice, and you know that this case does not have any solid and legal backing. The next thing, you keep adjourning, and you know that the case they brought before you they don't have any evidence. In which the case ought to have been quashed at the preliminary stage, but they keep on hearing that took us 2 years, 2 months.
Okay, in a nutshell, what are you saying? Dele Farotimi should be released, and are you saying Afe Babalola is wrong? Is that what you're saying?
The act is wrong by using the police to enforce his arrest. It is wrong. There are procedures. In a civil matter, you approach the court of law. Anything that is civil, it is not the job of the police to intervene. So Babalola ought to have approached the court of law. And when he gets to the court, thank God he's a lawyer. This is a lawyer-to-lawyer matter. And he should come and tell the court his own evidence, his own side of the story. Not that the police will have the F-13. And there is another lacuna there. That why is it that when you said, okay, he has defamed you, defamation law, is it a state law or a national law? It is a national law, which means he can be tried at Lagos. Why is he being drove down to risk his life from Lagos down to Adekiti? That's to let you know that there is something hidden that they've not yet told us.
Yeah, but that's what you think. That's what you think. We don't know if there is any hidden motive yet.
If there are no hidden motives, it's so clear. Now, as a person, if anybody defame me, irrespective of where the person is, so far the law of Nigeria, of our country, establish such crime, such offenses, the person can be tried where he or she is residing.
Okay, all right.
Not that it's the most they brought the person down to where I was or where I am.
All right. Also, just to put this one out there, under section 329 or 392 of the Penal Code law, any person who defames another shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 2 years or with a fine or with both.
Yeah.
So it is actually a criminal punishment. It carries a criminal punishment, but the provisions or the method at which this arrest was carried out might be questioned.
Yeah. The method might be questioned.
Yes.
But you're saying that this crime carries imprisonment.
Imprisonment.
But the thing now is, in court, what must be decided is if this is a case of defamation or not.
Or not.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Solomon, go ahead.
Even at the court, it is until when he is proven guilty.
Yes.
Yes.
If he is not proven guilty, he can sue back. So that is why I said it is not the responsibility of the police to execute or to implement such order. So it is what, as a legal person, I don't need to teach Afe Babalola Chamber. It's work. It's what they know. And this is even part of what Dele Farotimi was even saying. Is part of what even happened during his arrest. Abuse of procedures. You know that in legal profession, there are procedures. Why can't Afe Babalola Chamber follow the procedure of the legal profession? So it means there are some persons in the legal professions who have immunity, who are powerful than the judiciary itself.
All right, so if I may ask, Solomon, what effect or what repercussion, or let's not make it too harsh, what effect would this have on other activists looking up to Dele Farotimi? I know Showore is one of the people who has been locked up, who has been detained several times. Now it's Dele Farotimi. What effect would it have, a positive or negative effect on other activists who are also fighting for human rights?
You know, as human rights activists, right from the beginning, is what we've signed up for, and we are prepared for this. Even if you look at his press conference that he did, he had before his arrest, he's talked about all these events that are unfolding, which means he is well prepared for it mentally, psychologically, emotionally. So as an activist, arrest should not be something we should be afraid of. No. It's not what we should be afraid of, because it is what we signed up for.
All right.
And anyone who is demanding for a better society, we also pay the price. And part of the price that Dele Farotimi is paying now is being arrested by a senior advocate of Nigeria.
All right, if I may also come in, you said he made a statement. Now, when he made that statement, he was referring to threat to life. When he made that public statement, that press conference, he was alleging that there has been a threat to his life. Do you suspect foul play? But now we are having it that he's being charged for defamation.
Yeah.
Not what he was saying before, that his life was being threatened. He has been saying it several times. He said he sent letters to DSS, the police, and all that. So do you suspect any foul play? Is this threat to life real, or it's just
a figment of his imagination?
No, it's not a figment. Even there was one that during NSA's panel of the thing at Lagos that I myself am aware of. And to also make it so corny this time around, the first he has been parading what's it called, Lagos State Police Command, that they said the petition being filed by Tony Elumelu. So that alone, and for that to have even been, it's not coincidence. It is a planned stuff. If someone, you invited him, and the way he was being arrested, is that the way to even invite someone?
You see now, let's dissect this, Solomon. You said it's planned, but now you just said it was Tony Elumelu that filed the complaints this time around. This particular issue you're talking about. There is nothing that binds Elumelu together with Afe Babalola. Can you hold on? Can you hold on? Let me land. The only common denominator here is the words being spoken by the author, who is in hot soup. Now, if you start having problems with so many people and you are the common denominator, shouldn't you stand back and think, is it what I'm saying, or really, is it what you are saying, that it is a planned work to shut him up?
Now, this is it. We don't need to go far. When you speak the truth, what happened?
Oh, yeah, well, truth is very bitter. So, I mean, darkness will definitely fight back.
Bitter, right?
Yes.
Now, when truths are bitter, the persons when truths are bitter, right? When it falls on grants, it falls on different parts. Now, if there is any of the part that they felt like, oh, this thing is eating me more than it's expected, I need to retaliate. During NSAS, this same thing comes on board, whereby activists are that they go after activists, demanding for justice. To the point that at the barricade, they were attacked. So it's not about the choice of words.
Okay, let me, Olumide, before you come in, let me put, Solomon, you are a social justice advocate. Does that make you above the law? Or do you think that activists hold on, let me ask, do you think activists and advocates like yourself sometimes might use the wrong words and must be held accountable? Do you think that's right?
If choice of words is what is bringing issue, I disagree. It's not choice of words.
Okay.
It's not choice of words. What the issue here is like, okay, now, if I offended you in that, and I felt like, okay, I have the medium to cover up the whole scenario. And by the time you come to the limelight and you speak about the issue, I will look for all means to make sure I cover all what happens in the dark.
Yeah.
That is what is playing out here. A scenario was brought to me yesterday that so person happens. I don't want to mention name.
Yes.
And I was just nodding my head that, oh, in this same Nigeria, someone who is just an orderly went to law school. The next thing, the person in 2 years, the person has become a justice.
Wow.
And we are not joking like, okay, I don't say, okay, the person has paid his price. That is why he could become that. Is that the normal procedure? So if the person, those who have the vital information, now comes out to speak about the issue, do you think the person who originated such will be happy?
Oh, of course not.
No, that is what happened here. It's like now, someone infringed on my own rights at police headquarters, and I filed 3 FOI petition to demand for the petition that led to my own detention. You gave me an invite. I came. I honored the invite. The next thing, you turn it to detention.
That's not right.
That's not right. Now, I demand for such petition to be released to me. It's over a year now. They could not provide such petition. So if I come to the public, organize a press conference, and narrate all the incidents, how it came in toto now, do you think those perpetrators will not come after me?
That's $1 million question. But you know, we need to wrap up. Solomon, I've got to give this to you. You stood your ground. This was a very good debate. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on board this morning. We appreciate your time. I don't know if you want to say something,
No,
Solomon.
I think I'm good and I'm okay. We've run out of time. But Solomon, thank you very much. Solomon and Emiola, thank you very much. You've been very brilliant on this particular topic.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure here.